Sister Silverine, Ambassador Extraordinaire of PAIN, Parental Alienation Awareness International Network, and we are talking about From Pain to Healing, where we're going to have a series of talks on Sundays from 5:30 p.m. to 6 p.m. on Sankhya TV. Thank you.
Sister Silverine, once again, I want to thank you for having me sit with you and have conversations on a wide range of topics. But the series is focused on the individual, on relationships, on personal development. And in our last episode, we spoke about the parent who tries to live through their child and trying to achieve their goals, whether it's positive or negative. Now, in that conversation, you mentioned a few points that I wanted to expand on. One of those points being that you had listed or explained what an abusive situation is, where a couple would be living simply based on trying to keep a relationship so that the child will benefit from having both parents there. But they would have a relationship void of love. So the child looking on as part of this situation, how would being part of that loveless household affect the child?
Very nice. So let's take an example. Let's say you like a plant and you decide, I'm going to plant this plant, I'm going to take care of it, and it will give me beautiful flowers. And here you have yourself, you buy yourself your plant and you are nurturing this plant. And for some reason or the other, you are not able to take care of it after some time. What will eventually happen to that plant? So here you are with this beautiful plant. In your mind, you're going to take care of it because the flowers are beautiful and whatever. So you are putting good manure and you put your water, you give your your positive energies to make it look nice and grow nice. But then you're not able to take care of this plant for X reason. Will that plant continue growing the way it was growing, beautiful, giving you all the good flowers? No. So just as this plant needs that nurturing, it needs attention, it needs fertilizer, it needs sunlight, it needs energy, good energy, it needs water. In the same way, every human being, not only a child, but every human being generally needs love, needs care, needs nurturing, needs positive energies in order to grow in a positive way. But if a child in a home, in a family, is not receiving that care, that attention, that love, and that whatever he needs to grow properly, then you would realize that such children are never able to produce in school, which means they are not able to study well. Because how can you study well when your mind is disturbed? And your mind is disturbed because your parents are not living well. Your parents are in constant conflict. What will happen to this child's mind when that child is in school? His mind will constantly be on the parents. My mother was crying last night because my father abused her. Where is that child's attention? What will happen to that child? So that child cannot concentrate on his work. That child cannot study. in order to pass, to clearly show that he has a problem. And all what he is going through in his home, he starts showing that in school. Do you know that children, school children, they bring to the school whatever they are living at home? Be it hurt, be it pain, be it violence, be it bad language, bad attitudes, whatever and however you see children behavior in school, however is their attitude and their nature, that is what they are learning from home. So here we are taking a look at the child's mind, the mind of a child who is seeing his parents in a constant abusive relationship. First thing start generating in that child's mind is a frustration. And a frustrated mind cannot think well. Any frustrated mind, not only a child's mind, even if an individual, an adult is frustrated, he cannot think well. Because under frustration, your powers to reason, your power to analyze, your power to judge, your power to discern, which means to take the right decision, will not be present. So what kind of decision would this child take? We have seen children, after school, instead of going home straight, they go and stray away with other children. They go and pass time outside, and then they will come home late. And then the mother will ask them, why did you come home so late? He say, well, I was with my friend, or I went to pick mango, or I went to do this. Why don't the child want to go home, knowing that his mother is there waiting for him? Because wherever any individual, for that matter of fact, not only a child, even adults, where they receive love, there is where they will get pulled to go. So where there is love, where there is unity, where there is happiness, where there is peace, where there is harmony, that space, so that home will attract anyone. But a home where there is fighting and quarreling and all of this disharmony and disunity, whatever you want to call it, no one wants to be in that atmosphere. Because the natural nature of human beings is peace, is love, is happiness, is joy, is wisdom. This is what we are originally and eternally and naturally. So every individual naturally are pulled or attracted to love, to peace, to happiness, to joy, whatever make them feel good, there is where they will go. But if there is a home where there is constant battling, constant fight, constant abuse, violence, who will want to be in such an atmosphere? No one. No one, absolutely. Much less a small child. But a child naturally have love for his mother, no matter what. And any child, girl or boy, will never like to see his mother being abused. It affects them terribly. Because, they consider the female, the feminine aspect to be the weaker aspect. So they know that their mother cannot fight physically for herself. So they feel more compassion and mercy towards the mother. Naturally, any child will feel more love towards their mother. So yes, in an abusive relationship, in a relationship where there is violence, where there is constant battles, you are actually destroying a child's mind. You are actually destroying an individual who could then grow up to be some great personality in society. So just think about what you are doing to this child's mind each time not only you abuse that child, but if you are in a constant battle with someone, with that child's father or mother. that child is also being affected. And this aspect many people don't understand or know, that they are quarreling between themselves, but they are not thinking about what is happening in the child's mind, who is there also. That child that is present there is also being affected by what he or she is seeing in that relationship between his mother and father. But parents don't understand this point or this aspect. If I speak to my wife harsh, the child is also affected. And each time this child is being affected negatively, emotionally, you are actually like suppressing that child's capacity and abilities, his skills, his talents. Because inside of each human being, human soul, there's a lot of abilities, a lot of potential, there are a lot of powers. And when the atmosphere is an atmosphere of harmony, of peace, of love, of caring and sharing and nurturing, any individual can grow beautifully in such an environment. But if the environment is totally the opposite, an environment, an atmosphere where there is tension, there is hate, there is aggression, there is anger, there is all these negative emotions, you are actually destroying not only minds, but you are destroying individuals. You are destroying people.
Now we are speaking about a child looking at a loveless situation, a loveless marriage. And you mentioned in the previous episode that those marriages are void of true love. Sometimes they are based on, these marriages devoid of true love are based on financial security, or they are based on a fear of being alone, let's say, of not having someone to take care of you. So to a lot of people that would have sounded like the ideal relationship according to modern standards. But also, you know, where they say marriage is about compromise, so you can't expect a bed of roses. But what is this true love that you speak of in terms of in being in a marriage? Again, as you mentioned, it is not an attraction, a physical attraction, but what is this true love?
A true love would mean a love that doesn't look at the physical. I'm not looking, or the other person is not looking at you because you're fair-skinned, or because you maybe have beautiful features, physical features, but because of the person who you are. And that person will mean that this individual is a happy, natured person no matter what. He's always cheerful, always joyous, always loving, always kind. So when you have this kind of individual or persons that you are attracted to, then you are attracted to a personality and not a figure, physical figure. And once you're attracted to a beautiful personality, and you are looking beyond the physical, then that marriage will definitely last. Why? Because you are in love with peace. You are in love with happiness. You are in love with joy, because this is what this individual is about. But if you get attracted to someone because of their color or their features, or we say here in Trinidad, their looks, and not looking at that person's personality that is behind the looks, because we say, well, she looks nice, but when she speaks, then you hear, then you know the person. So even though someone may look physically, let's say, okay or good, the words that may come out of their lips may not be as good as they look, if you understand what I mean. And you have those things, you have that happening in society. So what am I in love with? Am I in love with a beauty, a physical beauty? Or am I in love with beautiful virtues and values and nature of someone. What am I in love with? So if I love the nature of the person, then no matter how physically bad someone may be, and I'm not looking at that, then that relationship will definitely work. Why? Because if this person who I choose to be my partner, my companion, is a naturally happy person, naturally cheerful and joyous and kind and beautiful natured person, then however I am going to be fed by her qualities. Means she's going to accept me for who I am, how I am, because this is who she is or he is. Both ways. So if two people are attracted to these beautiful qualities between each other or that each other have, then definitely that relationship will last. But if you get attracted to someone only because of skin deep beauty and not because of the nature of the person, and after you get married to this person you realize, well, what I see and what I hearing is different, because I saw a beautiful person, but living with the person, then you begin to know that what you saw and what is happening now is not the same. Which means you say there's a saying that you only know someone when you live with them. So only when you start living with this individual, then you realize that the beauty was external and not internal. Which means that even though the person may be physically fair or have beautiful features, that person not necessarily have beautiful qualities or beautiful nature or behavior. So because the behavior of this person is not the one that you expect, how will you expect that relationship to be? The relationship starts getting, let us call it like the waves in the sea, broken, rough. The relationship starts getting rough, and then because he expects this from her and she expects this from him, you marry me because you love me, but what part of me did you love? And when there isn't that true love, because of it's not based on the personality, but that love was based on the physical, then such a relationship naturally don't last. In one of the previous episodes, I mentioned about these two people who goes to these, what you call discotheque, or these places where they go and they enjoy themselves, the pub or the bars or whatever. So here all these people go there to enjoy themselves, which means that these people are looking for happiness as well as love, both things. And all the people go there, they are looking for the same thing. They're searching for happiness, they're searching for love. Which means they themselves are lacking. They themselves are devoid of love. So if I do not have love, I have never experienced it. I don't even know how to love myself. How can I give love to you? So here people are going to these places searching or seeking love because they have never lived it, they have never experienced it, they have never tasted it. But they think that, if I get married to someone, maybe he will give me the love that I want, and vice versa. He will be thinking the same thing. If I get married, maybe this girl will love me the way I want. But remember, both of them have the same aim and objective. If I get married to him, he will give me the love that I want. And she is thinking that if she get married, he is thinking if he get married to her, she will give him the love that he wants. And both have the same expectation. They both have the same desire. And here they come and they get married. After getting married, and they both expect from each other Here we have a whole bag of expectations which are not being met, which means he cannot give what he does not have and she cannot give what she does not have. So they cannot give each other the love that they both expect. So what starts happening? So because expectations were not met, they both starts feeling, it's like deceived. I marry her thinking she loved me, but I didn't know she did not love me, but she loved my money, for example. And she might think the same. I married this boy thinking, well, he will give me what I want, And he doesn't even have, what will he give? So what starts happening in that relationship? It starts having frictions. They will start having verbal fights, which may then lead to violence. And so the story continues. So once again, I invite you to join me in a small reflection. And in this reflection, I'm going to dedicate to myself, to nurturing myself, learning to love myself. And as I sit here in this comfortable and relaxed state, I become aware of my thoughts. And in this awareness, I reflect on my mind. I reflect on my thoughts. And I begin to realize how every thought that I create is having an impact, whether negative or positive, on my mind and my body. And so in this reflection, I am going to think about myself. And whilst I think about myself, I ask myself, do I love myself? And how much do I love myself? And if I love myself, do I do everything possible to make the self happy? Because the more I love myself, the more I will work towards my own happiness. And whilst I reflect, I begin to realize that I have never taken the time to really appreciate myself for who I am, to care and to love myself for who I am, because I was never taught to love myself. And so I use this reflection to begin to learn how to love myself in such a way that giving self-love makes me happy. And in order to love myself, I firstly have to accept myself for who I am. And so I ask myself the question, how much do I accept myself for who I am? How much do I appreciate myself for who I am? And whilst I ponder over these questions, I take my attention to the center of my forehead. I am completely detached from everything external, and my complete awareness goes within me to the center of my forehead. And there I see myself in my most beautiful form of light. A tiny point of glowing light, a point of pure energy that sits in the center of my forehead, between the eyebrows and just at the back of the eyes. And there sits a beautiful being of light, a glowing light, a living light. And I recognize this being to be myself, because I am not this physical body that is made up of the 5 elements of matter, but I am that living being, that point of powerful energy that gives life to this physical body. And I am light, a peaceful light, a pure light. I am peace. I am love. Om Shanti.
Join us globally every Sunday at 5:30 p.m. on Sankhya Television as Parental Alienation Awareness International Network, PAIN, presents Ambassador Extraordinaire, Brahma Kumari's Sister Silverine Mangru with the series From Pain to Healing.
This program is sponsored by Sampex Limited, Networking Societies for a Better Future.